lounging, son.
Welcome back to another episode of the Comic Lounge podcast. I'm the immortal Ryan Fist with my co-host, Amazing Dillbot, and we are here with the final week of Future State. We're finally here.
What a fucking reading gauntlet!
Holy crap! I know.
I felt like it was a reading gauntlet, dude. Like
it was. It was too much.
Literally by the second month, it literally just took over all of my reading. I'm so behind on like Marvel stuff right now and Image stuff. I set a goal for my Goodreads, right? For 200 this year. I'm like 5 books behind when the first month of in January, I was like 6 books ahead. Now I'm like way behind. So it's bittersweet that it's over, but I'm also kind of glad that it's over because now we can move on to we both can move on to catching up to what we want to read. Not to say that I didn't want to read Future State because I did, but dude, 6 to 7 books a week.
Well, yeah, I mean we were reading an entire line of comic books.
Yeah.
Like how many titles is that? There's well, some of them were twice a month, but
yeah.
That's like at least 26 titles. Maybe 24 titles. But either way, that's a lot of comic books to be reading just focused on one thing. And we'll give our final thoughts at the end. Let's jump in. Where do you want to start? Oh, you know what? First off, the books we're not going to be talking about all time. Legion of Superheroes. I know you didn't read the first one. I read the first one. Like I said, wasn't for me. I didn't read the second one because there's only so much time in the day, and I'm not going to read a book that I wasn't totally into. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like the Legion book. I still am a fan of Bendis. I'm excited for what he's got coming up, but I didn't read Legion. Superman versus Imperius Lex, I know you didn't read. It's a funny book. I mean, Lex Luthor running his own planet, having to get away from Earth to get away from Superman. I mean, that in and of itself is funny. There's a line between Superman and Lois that's really funny, and it alludes to like him. All he needs is 3 minutes, and he can do whatever he needs to do, and you can kind of guess like what that Lois implied. So, that was pretty funny. It was good. It was a solid book. I know there's a 3rd issue that's coming out, next month in March, which I don't really understand why they split it up, but whatever. But I'll let you lead with the first book that we're actually going to discuss.
Oh. Okay. Let's start with Batman Superman because in the Future State timeline, it takes place at the beginning of Magistrate Occupation, right?
Which I like. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I just have to say, like, one of the newer villains that like I like is featured in here, and it's Professor Pig, and he's like I love you want to talk about legit serial killers. That guy's a serial killer. I watch a lot of serial killer shit. I watch a lot of First 48. I watch Ted Bundy shit. All sorts of different serial killer shit. I love it. So Professor Pig was definitely a nice touch to be added to be in the Future State. And fantastic villain. And his character design in this, great too. Which is dope too because the character design stays the same in Batman, Superman, and also in Harley Quinn. So I'm like all for that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that shows a level of canon continuity that I really appreciate. And I can't, like I said last week, I can't wait for this Gotham book to come out so I can read it in order.
It's in black and white too. Oh, you're talking about the trade.
Yeah.
Okay. The Future State Gotham is in black and white. And we'll talk about that, though. Yeah, we'll talk about that because that touches cool. on the Dark Detectives, the backup story in there.
One of the highlights for me in this book, aside from Professor Pig, was the Batman-Superman relationship. I love the Batman-Superman relationship. There's a line here where they finally reunite for a bit, and Superman's like, "Bats?" And then Batman responds, "Soups?" And then in the internal monologue, Superman's like, he's not going to show it, but I can tell he's happy to see me because he never calls me Soups.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is like you said, and I said it with the first issue. Like the comic wasn't like some crazy story, right? Or like some like how we felt about Swamp Thing, right? Like Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman, I think we can both agree are at the top, right?
Yeah.
But Gene Luen Yang, he gets the relationship and the dynamic between Batman and Superman. It's flawless, dude. It's like that is what I want to read in a Batman Superman book, and that's why I'm so stoked on his ongoing that he's going to be writing in this upcoming month. You know?
Yeah, you're right. I love the dynamic, and it's like the best kind of writing for the two. It's not an animosity, but more like a friendly, respectful rivalry. You know what I mean?
Like they should somewhat be at odds with each other. Because they're not the same person. They're not the same type of hero. They don't believe necessarily in the same ideals. Like, yes, they want to protect people, right? But like Superman is the ultimate Boy Scout, right? Like everybody says that. Batman will walk that, he'll walk that in between. That Superman doesn't necessarily always agree with. But that's what makes the team up between them so interesting to read. And not everybody can capture that. And he did it in 2 issues. He did it in the first one, and I was like, okay, I'm here for it, you know? So I do want to say about Professor Pig real quick. I wish I could see him in a movie, but I feel like it would have to be an R-rated Batman movie to do this villain justice.
Dude.
Because I want to see a legitimate serial killer movie and Batman hunting this motherfucker down and this dude wearing like a pig mask.
And it's sick too because this little Professor Pig, like, and everything that I read for him, and also I think he was in the Arkham Knight game too, where this fool he's terrifying, absolutely terrifying, and he's 100% delusional, but not in a sense of delusional like the Joker is, right? Well, you know, I consider Joker his thing kind of being like a super sanity where he sees things way clearer than everybody, so he's okay. I think
he's like almost like a genius level intellect, yes.
Yeah, genius level intellect, but you know how also we perceive genius. Yeah, exactly. It's you know how they say it's a thin line between genius and insanity. For the Joker, there is no line.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But like as Professor Pig goes, like he is absolutely fucking nuts.
That dude is insane.
Yeah, and like his delusions of grandeur, like his self-proclamations of being an artist, that's just crazy. Like because like, you know, as an artist myself, I obsess over making things just right, but my canvas is pencil and paper, his canvas is human bodies and genetics. You know what I mean? So like him in a movie, I feel like that would have to be an R-rated movie, or I think it would transfer well in an animated, because you know they get away with a lot of stuff in the animated stuff.
Yeah,
especially with HBO like doing that Harley Quinn show, which is absolutely one of the best things I've seen on television. Mm-hmm. And I think that that we need to see more of Professor Pig. Yeah, just absolutely phenomenal. And all of it brought to life by friggin' Ben Oliver, who
amazing
man. You know who Ben Oliver reminds me of? He's like a more cleaned up version of Simone Bianchi. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like as far as depth, texture, and like just everything pops, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everything pops. There's like it's like we were saying the last time we talked about Batman and Superman. Like you see textures, like you know what I mean? I wouldn't say like his art is the most kinetic, but it's definitely one of the best things to look at in comics right now.
Oh yeah, because it's got like that painted style, which I really enjoy. You know what I mean? I like that kind of style. Like you said, Simone Bianchi. I think Ariel Olivetti does similar stuff. And then like so that type of painted style, and then like watercolor type, like Tim Sale. Like to me, those styles are very striking, and like they're just fun to look at. And you don't. It's not something that's a regular thing in comic books. So when you get it, it's like a treat.
But yeah, like this book easily like both issues phenomenal.
Yeah, fantastic. It's at the top of my list too.
This was definitely one of the standouts. Like we've been saying for the past 2 months that like more often than not, all these releases have been great. This one in particular was really fun because, you know, like we said earlier, this is early stages of magistrate occupation. Superheroes are still around. You know, Batman and Superman are both still on Earth. Oh, well, Superman's still on Earth. Both of them are still kind of like, the whole mask mandate thing still hasn't gone into full effect. and you kind of see the inklings of like how it started, right? So I really like that. I hope. I can't wait for the road to all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
where
I'm
it goes.
probably going to read the Batman ongoing just to see, because I think that is going to, even though, like I told you, I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't really enjoy the first like beginning of Tynion's run. I think that now we're seeing the Bruce no fortune, all that stuff. I think it might be a little bit more interesting to read. So
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to. Deconstruction of characters. You know what I mean? A deconstruction of characters is a really great thing because, like, it sets apart the alter egos and secret identities. Have to take away something from Bruce that is like literally that people legit call his superpower. Being rich is what people consider his superpower. Right. Mm-hmm. So to take that away from him, to see him broken down, it's kind of like getting a glimpse of like how he was when he disappeared after his parents' death, and how he improvised, and how he just kind of like he brought it down to the straight basics of being a vigilante, which I really like. And going forward, I would love to see this new take, because he's not a young kid anymore. He's a seasoned ass Batman.
Yeah.
But he's broke. So yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah, same here. Let's just jump right into the other Batman book this week, which ends the whole magistrate stuff, at least for now, in the future state. And we'll see how it goes forward. Is Dark Detective.
Okay, first and fucking foremost, Dan fucking Mora kills it in this entire book. Like, holy crap. I feel like there was like 4 or 5 splash pages. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, like, but large scale pictures like that and splash pages like that, they're the most fun to draw, because you can really break it. Look at that, dude.
I know. I know.
Look at it, look, dude. It's man, Dan Mora. I'm so excited. He's doing stuff for one of the big two, because like I feel like he was off to a great start, like with his IDW stuff, his Boom Studio stuff. But now we get to see him work on beloved characters, as opposed to like, franchise properties and, independent properties. Now we get to see him do Batman. Now we get to see him. Now he's now going forward, going to Infinite Frontier. He's gonna start doing Bat Family. He's gonna start doing, like, you know what I mean. I'm so excited for that. I can't wait to see his takes on classic villains. You know what I mean?
Same.
I want to see his Bane. You know what I mean? I want to see his Bane. I want to see his Scarecrow more. Dan Mora is killing it. Dan Mora is fucking killing it. Mark my fucking words. This fool, he's on his way.
Yeah,
he's been on his way for a long time, but now he's like now the light at the end of the tunnel, where this fool is going to get the recognition he really deserves. Because
he's going to flex his muscles for sure. I mean, he already has been on these 4 issues, and he's just absolutely blowing me away. I mean, this is like I said, this version of Batman, I want more of. You know what I mean? Like, I would have almost been okay if, like, the line stopped, the Batman line of books in regular current continuity, it just stopped, and we only got this moving forward. And you know what I mean? Like, I would have been down, because I love Mariko Tamaki's take on Bruce. I love Dan Mora's art on this. The only thing that I did not like,
I already know where you're going with this.
Peacekeeper 1?
Who the fuck is that?
I mean, I've been waiting 2 months to find, and I'm like, it has to be somebody. It can't just be George.
Yeah.
I thought, who is this dude? Like, that was my only gripe. And I can't even say
with his scars. With his scars, for a second I was like, is that Zaz with hair? Like,
I thought it was like, I'm like, is this like Gordon Young? Because remember when he was in the Super Heavy arc, like, he has red hair, so I'm like, did he shave? Like, what is this? Like, why would he be going up? But nothing. Bruce didn't even seem like he knew who he was. Like, we don't get any answers. There
wasn't even mention of, like, his real name. They just kept on calling him Peacekeeper 1. Like, who are you, bro? I hope, like, going forward, like, with Tamaki and Mora taking over, that we get to see it. and then that way it'll make more sense. So that way you can revisit it and understand that who he is and his relevance to this whole magistrate thing. But like that was like I was just by the time. But like the thing I was looking forward to reading this before reading it, I was like, oh man, this is good. This is gonna be dope. They're gonna answer questions. I can't wait. And art and story aside, that was the one thing where at the end of the book, I was like, this doesn't fucking explain anything.
Like, no, and it's like I don't even know, is that Mariko Tamaki or because who is it? Because like I feel like some of this stuff, like maybe the ideas of what they're doing, it's part editorial and maybe part James Tynion, what he's doing with his magistrate stuff in the ongoing that's going to lead into this potential future or whatever. But yeah, that was just kind of a letdown. That was like I said, my only issue with this book. Other than that,
it's not really a big issue. It's more like it's more like, you know, for four issues. For 4 issues, we were like, oh man, who the fuck is Peacekeeper? But the thing is, now it's like we're still like, who the fuck is Peacekeeper?
Yeah. Like, yeah, because it's not even like Bruce like has this like revelation, like, oh man, like he obviously had known who Peacekeeper 1 was. He just doesn't ever he doesn't say it. We don't hear it. Right. And it's I was hoping we'd get it. But other than that,
also wait, let's circle back around to Dan Mora. Have you noticed like when they show shots of Bruce's face, it's just like, dude, you look like Klaus. Like, yeah. All right, but anyway, next book, let's talk about.
Well, hold on, we got to talk about the backup real quick.
Shit, I'm so sorry. Fucking Red Hood and Ravager, bro.
Dude, Williamson, Giannis. They're going to. Well, Joshua Williamson's going to be co-writing it, but same creative team on the Future State Gotham that's going to be coming out. I think in is it May? I think it's May. I'm excited for it. I loved this backup story. The art is phenomenal. The whole thing with Red Hood working for the Peacekeepers and stuff, hunting down vigilantes, but now he's being hunted too at the end. So I mean, I'm very excited to see how this gets taken.
I love how, like, you know, the mistake of it was literally a clerical error. Like, it was like literally a clerical error, and this one gets killed for it. Like, that's one of the bureaucracy, bro.
And I love the relationship between him and Ravager, which is not something that we've ever seen in continuity before. We've never seen the two of them really interact this much, and I just can't wait to see how they take, like, because it's called Future State Gotham. It's not called Future State Red Hood. It's not called Future State Batman. Like, this is going to be all encompassing of this entire world that we've come to like, and it's in black and white, which is kind of unique. I don't really see a black and white ongoing from either of the big two. I know we have Batman black and white, but that's not really. I feel like it's just anthology stories, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
There's not really something. It's like Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood, right? And where it's the history is so vast that you can like fit stories in here and there, and won't ruin continuity, but just add to the character if the story is good. You know, I feel like as far as Black and White goes, I mean, I you know, depending on who the artist is, you can really give it a pulp feel. And I always kind of felt like, you know, Gotham itself was a city of pulp. It's in the name, Gotham, Gothic. And I feel like a black and white comic would be good. But, you know, I do know that there is a certain percentage of buyers who aren't into it, who aren't into the black and white.
And they just can't
They're just fucking stupid.
They just can't appreciate good stuff.
You're missing out. There's been a lot of like color reprints though. I don't know if you guys got it in your shop this week, but From Hell came out in color.
Yeah, in color. Yeah, we got it.
They redid Walking Dead in color, and Black Hole. They came out with a color one too. There's a color.
That's weird.
Yeah. I just saw it. Someone posted it, and I was like, wait, what? Why is it in color? I mean, I like it because, you know, one of my main major gripes with Black Hole was all the guys looked the same because everybody had the same haircut. It was hard to tell who was talking at some points. So I feel like maybe color would, like, you know, help out a little bit, you know. But black and white, to me, one of my favorite comics of all time, The Wretch, is in black and white, and I love it. Like, I think for me, it's perfect. It's a perfect story. It's a perfect little set of anthology tales. But, you know, if them going forward with Gotham, being in black and white. I think it's going to be great because there's something raw about black and white that just stands out for me. You know?
Yeah, and I already said like this artist has kind of like a manga feel, and manga's in black and
manga's
white.
All
so
black
like,
and white. Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be really cool. Again, Dark Detective, like much like Batman Superman, Dark Detective was at the top for me in terms of the series. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. Very excited for the run coming up. Let's jump into Suicide Squad real quick.
Cool. I had to go back and read the second half of the first issue because I kind of forgot what was going on. I'm like, wait, what's happening again?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to do that, and then I got into it. And let me just say, man, Amanda Waller, like
badass.
for someone who like this, she is. I feel like if there was ever going to be like a crossover event between the big two, I feel like a great rivalry or a great like team up would be like Nick Fury and Amanda Waller.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
You know what I mean?
That'd be dope.
Like by any means necessary, those two. You know what I mean? But like, there's something about Amanda Waller where she is just fucking cold, bro.
Yeah,
she's cold.
She's unwavering in her beliefs, dude. She fucking believes one thing, and like you cannot change anything. If she's got her mind set on something, that's it, dude. You can't fucking change her mind.
Right.
She's going one way, and that's the only thing she's gonna do. I mean, and the way she manipulates people. I mean, she fucking manipulated Connor. I mean, like you thought it was going one way in the last issue, and then it kind of fucking wasn't. And like the fact that she's on Earth 3 and stuff, and we have the Suicide Squad from the main Earth coming there, to kind of get her. I just really like this, and I'm excited for the Suicide Squad ongoing. I didn't think I was going to be, but I'm excited to see how this gets played, or how that series is going to lead to this, because Superboy is going to be on that team. We're gonna get, like obviously Peacekeeper from this group. We're gonna get, I think, a Talon. So we're gonna get some of the stuff that's going on here, and to see why Connor ends up with Amanda Waller. I want to see that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that was the thing that I enjoyed the most about this, because like this was nothing like what I was expecting I was gonna get.
Yeah, I honestly, I mean, I guess because of the movie, right? I kind of expected it to be a little silly, but this definitely doesn't have those tones. This is definitely like, this is the kind of Suicide Squad I like. It's a wet work group, like the team that they gather. Fantastic. It's a fantastic team. I really like their whole Peacekeeper initiative, how they're pushing Peacekeeper really hard right now because of John Cena. Because of the movie and the series. James Gunn is directing the first 3 episodes. He's executive producing the entire series, and I love James Gunn.
Yeah, same here.
So I mean, like going forward, like I'm really excited for it, and I also think that John Cena is hilarious. A big doofy friggin' wrestler, so but who raps. So so I'm really looking forward to it. Like, and this is just adding to the hype. So yeah, Suicide Squad was definitely one of the more solid runs, and I, like you said, I'm excited for it. Like I as well am excited for a Suicide Squad run.
Did you read the Black Adam?
No, I didn't read the Black Adam. The Black Adam character for me, dude, I try. I really.
You know why you don't like him, right? You never read the JSA by Jeff Johns, probably,
no, I
right?
Didn't. No, I didn't.
I didn't really give a fuck about Black Adam, but the way he's tied into the history with Hawkman, what Jeff Johns did with that, and he really fleshed out who Black Adam was. You'll be a fan of the character by the time, if you read all that JSA stuff. I know it's a long run, it's a lot of comics, but if you read it over time, I think that you will enjoy that run, and I think you'll appreciate Black Adam. I think that story was kind of cool. I won't get too into it since you didn't really read it. But there's this cool we see the quintessence, right? Which is Hippolyta, Spectre, the Wizard, Shazam, Barda, who's now the High Mother of New Genesis, and
if anyone's gonna run shit, I feel like Barda would. I love Barda. I love Big Barda.
Same. And Sinestro is the last wielder of the light. Like that's what he's referred to as. like I kind of want to read about this group in the future. You know what I mean? Like it's really dope. And this is set in like the 853rd century, so it's like really, really, really far off. It's cool. It's a cool little Black Adam story. It doesn't. It's very far removed from everything else Future State, much like I would say Swamp Thing was very far removed.
Okay.
Immortal Wonder Woman was far removed, so it's not really connected to anything else. It was cool though. I enjoyed it. Jeremy Adams, who wrote the story, is going to be writing Flash, so I'm very stoked to see what he's got with Flash. And to me, this is just another example of getting to see like some new creators writing some new characters that we've not, like we don't really get to see too much of. If you have time, I recommend reading both parts.
Okay,
when you
for
can.
Sure. Aquaman.
Yes, I know. It's so good. I love Brandon Thomas. I fucking love Brandon Thomas so much.
Bro. Okay, look.
Yeah.
I said this before Future State, and I'm gonna say it right now. I've never been so fucking amped for an Aquaman comic.
I know. And I loved Jeff Johns, but this one, dude, was just like so much fun.
Andy and Jackson, like I don't know what's gonna happen going forward with Aquaman. I should have studied it up, but like if it's gonna be anything like this,
they haven't said anything about Aquaman.
This is good stuff right here, man. This is real phenomenal stuff.
Dude, the writing, like the art, the entire thing of this book.
In 2 issues, you have really fleshed out a character that's legitimately a baby right now, like in current continuity. Who's legitimately a baby, but then like the way you flesh it out, like in a matter of pages. Because keep in mind, she was only in the first issue, maybe like a third of the time, and maybe and all throughout this entire issue. But Andy, man, holy crap! Talk about fucking master level waterbender here, bro. Like
I know she cut like the first issue for everybody. I mean, again, there's spoilers in this. I don't care. She cuts her fucking leg off, right? And then in this one, the
glimmerfish. What?
She takes a glimmerfish who because they're on some other planet. And she didn't do it intentionally. It's unintentional. But she takes it and forms a leg. So then the entire fucking issue, you got these glimmerfish, like, telling her, like, give us our brother back. Give him back. And she's like, no, I can't. I didn't do this on purpose, but I'll do it after she saves Jackson, because she's looking for Jackson. And so that in and of itself was funny. But seeing how powerful she is, too, and getting to see her like find Jackson, and she just fucking, when she tears in, dude, like that page where she jumps in. Yeah, she jumps in through the fucking roof, and you just see at the top, Aquawoman returns. Fucking, I mean, Daniel St. Pierre is art, like the coloring on here. I mean, just from the opening page, like, I just love this book, dude. I want more of them. I want to see them like in an ongoing, and it sucks because like she's a baby in current continuity, right? And I mean, hopefully we'll see Jackson. There's no Aquaman book announced, and we've already got up to May solicits. They haven't announced anything. I'm sure we'll get maybe some June announcements, but who knows? We may not even have an Aquaman book for a little while. He's in Justice League, not Jackson, but like Arthur. So if this is all we have, like I'm happy that we got this, but it really makes me want to read more of this, and that's the only downfall. Like, I'll talk about this like before we get out of here, about Future State, is like some of these things we're not going to really get to see touched on. And I'm sad about that, because this is at the top for me too. You know what I mean? Like if I had to, it's in my top 5.
Right. No, I mean, man, Brandon Thomas, I'm so glad he got the opportunity to do this. I'm so glad the readers got an opportunity to read something like this. Because Brandon Thomas, like, he's great. Go fucking fund the Excellence Kickstarter. Like, dude, you know what I mean?
I did the 125 tier. I couldn't help myself. I was like, I want the signatures. So I'm getting the trading cards, I'm getting the prints, I'm getting the signed book plate. The tier above it was the Q&A, but like I can interview them for the channel.
You could literally email them. That's fine.
So like I'm not doing that, but I wish I had the 1,000 because then I could get drawn into an issue of excellence. Like that would have been dope. But I don't have it like that. But I did the 125 tier.
Can you imagine, dude?
Yeah, I know.
This is why I want to win Lotto, bro. Like,
no, I wouldn't even have hesitated.
Like this.
I wouldn't even have hesitated, bro. If I was making like $1,000 more a month, I would have been like, yeah, I can drop the 1,000.
You know, I can squeeze it. Just don't tell Lauren.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aquaman. I think Aquaman and the idea of Aquawoman, the possibility of Aquawoman, is enough to make me excited for anything Aquaman, because we're gonna get the Road 2. You know, that's the crazy thing about what this concept, this whole future state concept is. It's like, you know, yeah, they're testing out what works and what don't, what the fans will react to and all that. But also, it's like, you know, whatever they do decide to push forward, we get to see the path to this. You know,
right. I agree.
Like, it's great. Like, this is definitely one of the standouts of the entire future state. And I'm a little sad that we only got 2. You know, I would have loved to see more adventures of them going through what was it called?
The Confluence.
No, the Confluence. All right, cool.
Yeah.
The Confluence. Yeah, but the Confluence.
I know. I want to see too. Yeah. And like, is that going to be like a concept that we'll see more of too? Because like that, we can learn about that through an Aquaman ongoing, even if it's Arthur. Like he could be the one that discovers it, and maybe he doesn't mention it to anybody. He doesn't know, because they've kind of talked about that in that Drowning Earth storyline that Snyder did with the crossover between Aquaman and Justice League, where like he got those tattoos from the gods, from the water gods, or I think it was an Aquaman ongoing. Maybe I'm wrong. That concept was really dope.
Yeah, that's one of the more versatile concepts of future state. Like, I mean, first, an ocean that connects all oceans everywhere is nuts. Like, what? You know, because
I know it's a crazy concept.
It's dope, and you know, it expands the Aquaman world too, if you think about it, because, you know, all we get is the Atlantic, the Pacific, the friggin' Mediterranean, like, you know, just the regular seas that we have on Earth. But now we have like whole other dimensions, whole other planets, whole other everything. I think that's a crazy concept, and you can really take the story and the mythos to other places that's never gone, you know. And I hope that we get an Aquaman book.
I know.
It's
so do I.
Fucking dope.
All right, let's talk about my favorite book.
Like, first, let me start off by saying this. I didn't know what to expect from House of L.
Neither did I.
But let me tell you, this shit was fucking dope.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And I like how they left it open-ended, because now they can just do whatever they want with it. I think House of L, in one issue, easily just skyrocketed to one of my tops.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, Philip Kennedy Johnson, I said it all day at the shop yesterday too. All fucking day. That Superman's in good hands with Philip Kennedy Johnson. I thought that after I talked to him, before I read any of his future state stuff, and then I read the future state stuff and I felt that way. And this just solidified it, man. It's so cool to see Superman's reach. And because this is set, again, I think this is set really far off in the future, right? And we get to see his descendants. So you have one that's also Tamaranian, right? Like, so you have part Kryptonian, part Tamaranian. You have a Blue Lantern one. You have, I think, Iranian, like from the planet Ran. I think that was one of them too. I could be wrong. Yeah. But just to see how much he had an effect, into where he's almost looked at as a myth. They don't even know, like one of them even mentions, like, we don't even know if these stories that I heard as a kid were true.
Yeah, if he really existed.
Did he exist? I mean? And like, are we like just following blindly? And dude, just like it like had like a Game of Thrones vibe too. Like, you have all these different factions within the House of L. You know what I mean? And it's just the fucking art was dope. Scott Godlewski. And like super sci-fi vibes. Like this isn't necessarily a Superman story that you get. And like, he did say that his ongoings with Action and Superman are going to lean into the sci-fi stuff, which I'm very stoked for. I am very excited for. We got a Brainiac 4 too, like in here. We have all these Doomsdays coming out and attacking them. And like, so they don't even have the context of like, this is the creature that killed our forefather. You know what I mean? Like, so they didn't even get it. But I think where it really hit, and I think you'll probably agree, was the end. With Clark.
With Fearos?
Yeah.
With Fearos and Clark showing up?
Yeah. And then you learn that Fearos is like, he's a son.
Yeah, he's the freaking the tricked son. So basically, somehow, some way, freaking Cersei freaking tricks Superman into having a baby, like impregnating her and having a god baby.
Yeah, and Cersei's like a Wonder Woman villain too, so it's like, where did she have that? But she's like, and magic is one of his weaknesses, so it wasn't. It's like, which is, dude. I mean, it's just such a cool fucking story, and he really captures, like within his Superman Worlds of War, within House of L, he really captures what the symbol of Superman means, what that shield, the Superman shield, really means to everybody, fans, right? The people within the comic book universe, like on Earth, all this stuff, and to the galaxy, to the universe. Like, he really captures that and really gives a powerful statement on who Superman is to so many people. You know what I mean?
And just the idea of like the idea that resonates in the title itself, the House of L. You know what I mean? Like Kal-El, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this part where Fearos comes in and he's talking and he's like, I heard you doubted his existence, but just look at me and know that it's true. Like, damn. Like, damn. What a line, bro. Damn, that's legit Game of Thrones worthy right there. Ooh.
Yeah. And then there's another line when he's like, Clark Kent was the name he chose, and I don't see any of that in you. And I was like, oh, goddamn, dude. Like, dude, just like line after line. It was just punch. Like, I can see why Ed said this was probably the best single issue of the entire Future State. And like you said, this was all one issue. It was just a one shot. And it really was, context, I think,
nothing. It kind of just plopped you in there.
It was the best issue within itself. I don't think because all of them obviously were 2-parters or 4-parters or whatever, but I do think that this was the best single issue overall. You know what I mean? Like, because the rest of them you have to look at as a 2-issue thing, like as a complete thing. I don't think any single issue had as profound of an effect on my reading experience as this one did, for sure.
Yeah, this is. I love Santa Claus Superman. It looks great. His character design is dope too. How it's dude, everything about this was great. Like, and you know me, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, so for me saying this shit means a lot. So going forward, how they left it open ended, like, I hope that the House of L itself gets its own run, set in this time period, set in this continuity, because, dude, what does he mean? Like, there's so much more to do, and he's taking Fearos with him. Like, it's nuts. Out of all his bloodline, he takes the one that freaking is probably. At first, I thought it was like, is this Connor? Like, I was like, is this Connor right now? Like, what's happening?
I'm like, it can't be John. There's no way, dude. Yeah.
No, but it also kind of throws you off too, because you see, whatever city they're in is encapsulated in a glass bubble, and I'm like, is this John? Like, I literally thought it was John. Like you said, I thought it was John. I thought it was Connor. It could have been anybody. It was crazy. It was just nuts. And then how their slight. Their cool little move, a sleight of hand, and how they fit as to who Fearos was. Like, dude, in what was like 45 pages, in 45 pages time, they fit an entire new freaking world of Superman. You know what I mean? And not just like the Reign of Superman, where it was just a bunch of different Clarks or different iterations of Clark, where it could have been like Superboy and Steel and
Eradicator, Cyborg Superman.
Cyborg Superman. By the way, I miss Cyborg Superman. I just gotta throw that out there. Cyborg Superman was one of my favorite fucking things ever. and he was underutilized. He's been underutilized for a very long time. I mean, I loved him in freaking the Green Lantern run. That shit was phenomenal. But anyway, I digress. They introduced like this whole new world of possibility for the freaking the shield, the Superman symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Clark himself, but the symbol.
Right.
And for the longest time, for like at least the past 2 decades, the emphasis on the Superman symbol and what it means, like you said, and what it means is a powerful thing now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, people talk a lot about like, the logos and symbols, and like say something could be said like, how the Punisher logo was taken by freaking MAGA and turned into something that is completely different. You could never do that with the Superman logo.
No.
You could never do that with the Superman logo.
Yeah, I know it's a powerful symbol. It really is, and he emphasizes that in the story. And like just Clark coming back and telling all his progeny that he's proud of them, and the story is yours now. Use it to inspire hope, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Fuck, dude. I'm telling you, this. I love
how the of course the the out of the House of L, of course their ring bearer is one of hope. Like it's a blue lantern. It's a hope lantern.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
It couldn't have been any other lantern.
Yeah, and technically, all blue lanterns are saints. So let that sit there for a second. How did she become the saint? Is what I'm really what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know all about them too. It's much like the Aquaman stuff. Like, I want more of this world, and I think that they could do a future state House of L book. They could essentially do that, and I think a lot of people, Superman fans, would enjoy it. I think it's like that's one of Phil Kenny Johnson's. That's one of the things he's really good at is world building, and look how he did it in one issue. Like you meet all of these characters for the first time, but they feel like you've known them kind of. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Joelle Jones with Yara Flor. Like it felt like she had been with the character for years. Like it just felt natural. It felt like it has been around. This is how I felt about this.
And once again, I got to reiterate, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but this, if Phil Kennedy Johnson pushes forward with this and gives us something, like count me in. You know what I mean? Count me the fuck in. But I mean, okay, so let's give the basic synopsis over the entirety of Future State. Thinking back.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, my standouts were off the top of my head: Swamp Thing, Immortal Wonder Woman, the Red Hood story was good, Aquaman.
Yeah.
House of L. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they waited till the end, because I would have looked at it and compared it to everything else.
And it was the last book I read. I made sure that I saved it for last.
Me too. I remember how I told you yesterday. I was like, I just need to read Suicide Squad and House of L.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
I think for me too, your standouts, I co-sign all of that, and I would add in the Joelle Jones Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, shit! Holy crap! Yara Flor and freaking Andy, freaking Aquawoman, and just this whole House of L roster. These new superheroes taking up these new people taking up these mantles, totally fitting. 100%.
Agreed. And I would throw in Superman Worlds of War, Justice League, and A Dark Detective, also the Outsider story by Brandon Thomas. Those were all my favorites. And
DC Comics needs to give Brandon Thomas a contract and have him write whatever he wants.
Agreed. Yeah. And I would also throw in the Teen Titans Shazam kind of crossover story. That was something I really enjoyed reading. Yeah.
Teen Titans was definitely good. I mean, yeah, dude, for an event that the general consensus was 50-50 on, where half people were excited, half people were like, meh. I feel like at the end of all this, I feel like DC really knocked it out of the park.
I agree.
As a whole. You know what I mean? Like they tried out new things. Some of it didn't work, but more often than not, it did.
Agreed.
Like there were concepts here and ideas that were brand new, but at the same time touching on old classic things about characters that we love. It's fantastic. I am fucking hella excited for Infinite Frontier.
Yeah.
Next week.
Exactly. Same here. And, just because, everybody listening or watching, just because we're done with the future state stuff, doesn't mean we're not done talking about this new initiative. We're not going to do a weekly breakdown of all the Infinite Frontier stuff. We will be back next week with an episode just covering Infinite Frontier Zero, because there's multiple stories in there. So we will give our thoughts on that. And, during our weekly podcast, we will be discussing, like what we're liking, what we're reading, as we always used to do. And I know that we talked about, we'll find some like new segment to be posting on Mondays, so much like we've been doing with the feature state, maybe just a recap of what we read. And that's where we'll be talking about, the Nightwing book that's coming out by Tom Taylor, the Justice League by Bendis, with the Justice League Dark Backup by Ron V that we're, really excited for, Dark Detective Comics, by Mariko Tamaki and Dan Moore. So we will be discussing these books.
And the Tom Taylor freaking Batman book.
Right, the miniseries, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I can't wait for that. That's gonna be dope. I mean,
same here.
Like you see Rumi's post. Rumi posted that he bought the Justice League omnibuses, and he tagged both of us. He was like, "Dylan's always talking about Tom Taylor, how great he is." I'm like, yeah.
I have to say, I'm really jealous of his fucking hardcover and omnibus collection, dude. I wish. I covet those shelves, bro. Like just lines of fucking hardcovers.
I've never been the type to be legitimately jealous. Like, I'll say I'm jealous of things, of people and what they have, but
I usually don't mean it, but I mean it right now.
Yeah. But I mean it right now. Rumi's collection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. If he's listening
like,
right now, if you're listening, bro, we're jealous.
First off, his girl is so cool for letting him keep all that.
Yeah, dude. Lauren, there's no way in hell Lauren would let me have walls of bookshelves. So.
Yeah, first off, shout out to Rumi's girl. Like, you're awesome. You're awesome. It's fucking, but fucking those omnibuses there, you're like, holy shit! Like that's like one of the greatest collections I've ever seen.
I agree, and like I know he doesn't really read single issues, so like that's where his money goes, and I respect that. Like some people, that's how they read, and that's an awesome collection in and of itself. It's just as awesome to me as somebody that has short boxes galore, full of fucking single issues. Like there's something. I would
rather look at a bunch of bookshelves, a bunch of bookshelves with omnibuses than have to dig through fucking short boxes and long boxes all day. You know what I mean? Like
same, except if it's like old comics, I would rather have the single issues because I don't like the recoloring. I don't like the transfer from newsprint to like the new paper, and that's why it looks different. Because it's the paper's just too white. It makes the colors just a little flat. But now we're digressing. Anyways, Future State, we loved it. To all the creators new and old creators that have already been at DC, new to DC, thank you for this awesome event. Like I know that the two of us really enjoyed it. I think we've been saying it every week. It's cool to see fresh takes, fresh voices at DC, and that's why we're so excited for Infinite Frontier moving forward. And everybody that's been following along with us, I hope you guys enjoyed our coverage, and I hope you come back next week for Infinite Frontier Zero with us. Well, if you're not already following us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. You can follow Dylan at The Dillbot on Instagram. Make sure you throw your comments or suggestions down below, or you can also email us at thecomicloungepod@gmail.com, and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Later, buds.